What's going on, party people? I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and we are live. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to be breaking down the Raiders OTA practice news that y'all need to know today. I also just want to give my 2 cents on some of the things that Chip Kelly, Jacoby Myers, Geno Smith, and A.J. Cole spoke about today when they ended up literally just a few minutes ago ending their press conference with the media. Also today, we're going to do a mailbag, so make sure you get those questions in already. Hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line. Since it's Thursday, we're going to do a $10 duck race. My Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 Tuesday, we gave away, like 200 and maybe, I think it was like $110 or something like that.
Good little bit.
You know, $110, shit, man. Take your kid out for an ice cream cone, maybe take the wife out for some drinks. Who knows? You might even get lucky. Or if she's down to DTF, which is down to duck race as far as I'm concerned. Coming up here, though, one of the things that we are really going to discuss is some of these rookies. And obviously, this is the time of the offseason where a lot of rookie conversations are being had. But my question to the nation out there is this, and I'm going to give some shout-outs here to the group. Which Raiders rookie will surprise people the most in the year 2025? Now, literally right before we went live, Chuggs and I filmed another video. You guys will get that tomorrow. My answer will be in that video, so I don't want to give it away. And, here are some of the things that was said today at the press conference. I think is really cool because we kind of take a little bit of a deep dive into that in the video that'll go out bright and early tomorrow. What up, Raider Prime? I see you down there below. Appreciate you tuning in. Taino, he's going to go with Dante Thornton Jr. I see Hemingway from Steven Stockton. What up, dude? Taino in the building. Besh from Seth. 805 Raider Paul. Dante Thornton. I'm going to go with Hemingway from Stockton again. Raider Prime. What's up, Raider Prime? Matthias Abner. Yo, yo, yo. Juan Hernandez. Seriously, much, much love to all y'all tuning in to today's episode.
I don't think I've seen it in the chat yet. Give me Mello Dotson.
Mello Dotson is a hell of a pull. I mean, if you were to ask me right now which UDFA do I think might have one of the better opportunities to make the squad, I'd probably put Dotson up there. Good cornerback. Kansas actually is the leader at that school for most pick sixes ever in a career. I believe he's got 4. Cameron Sprout says Darian Porter, Caleb Rogers coming in there from Big Luck. Taino, the Panther player. Oh, the Pathway player from Rebel.
Lucky Tassi
Rumba. Which, over the past few days, even the past few weeks, really Raiders OTAs, when the Raiders brought Tassi in, he was really only a defensive tackle. But over the past, let's call it, 5-7 days, if you will, the Raiders have really been using him a little bit more as an offensive lineman. And quite frankly, I actually think that he is more of a offensive lineman now than he is a defensive tackle. They still might try to use him in a multitude of different ways, but the fact that the Raiders want to use him on the offensive line might mean good news for some players, and it might mean bad news for some other guys. What up, Ed Robbins? He says Chip Kelly is somebody to keep in mind. I think what Chip Kelly said today really inspires me, that you could tell that he's going to do the right things, and I get it. A lot of times, like when you listen to somebody talk at a press conference, right? And I do think Raiders fans know exactly the feeling and exactly what I'm talking about here before I even bring it up. But think about when Josh McDaniels used to talk. I felt like it was a lot of talk and you didn't exactly know where he was going. Luke gets you when he would talk. Kind of the same feel where you're like, all right, there's a lot of words being said, but I don't really feel like I'm getting anything out of it. When Chip Kelly talked today, you could tell that he was able to connect some dots. And a lot of confidence in himself. He's got a lot of confidence in this regime. And he said something that really stuck with me because, again, of Getsy, because of somebody even along the lines of, what's his name? Josh McDaniels. He said, you always adapt to your personnel. You always adapt to your personnel. And I think good offensive coordinators do that. Holy shit. Night Devil! Bang! You know what? Sometimes we got to adapt to our audience as well. Fabian Moreno, a.k.a. the Night Devil with the bang.
Speaking of bang, I was desperately looking for a segue to talk about something.
Okay.
And I think Night Devil just did that for me because $100 bang, this dude's an absolute insane, sicko, amazing Raider Nation number one. Dude's making a case.
I'll tell you this. He's making a case for himself.
Making a case. But speaking of spending the big bucks.
Okay.
We've been debating in the office today. I don't know if y'all have seen the news.
Y for yes and for no.
Sydney Sweeney and Dr. Squatch are coming out with a new soap that, in fact, has Sydney Sweeney's bathwater in the soap. My question to you is, what is the most you would spend on this soap?
I've never wanted to get my mouth washed out with soap more in my entire life. Cursing, I think, is going to skyrocket due to this campaign. But, let's be honest with ourselves, right? If you had this soap in your shower, Danny's pissed.
Oh, Danny's mad.
I think the only place that I can't use this soap is the obvious place. If I'm using that soap and Alex walks in, I'm in trouble.
For my shoulders.
Yeah, it takes really good care of your skin, from what I understand. Rebel says 0. I don't know that person. I don't believe you.
That's wild.
I'm sorry, Rebel. I don't believe you. I don't think any person doesn't know who Sydney Sweeney is. Any male. I'd be shocked, quite frankly. Bridget, I will be banging with a recovery drink. Hey, I feel that. Big Luck. I couldn't believe the post on IG. My question is this. Would you buy it? Y for yes and for no?
We must stay strong, brothers.
I think it's an interesting campaign.
The
single guy, if I was single, shit, why not? Go out and buy it.
I think we just started something because Rebel said, hold on, let me Google who that is. Have fun for a couple minutes, Rebel.
Crash Dog said, I don't know either. I don't believe you guys. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Maybe I'm just a young 32-year-old. But as often as what this person's name is brought up in this office, I guess maybe I'm really underestimating or overestimating how many people know Sydney Sweeney. Seth says no. 805 Raiders says yes. Emmanuel Sanchez, I don't know. Spoken said, I don't know who that is. My wife would kill me, though. So I'm actually surprised that not, based on this chat, we've already seen multiple people say that they don't know who that is. Hey,
Bridget knows.
She's hot and a great actress. LOL. Bridget, you're not wrong. She is a great actress. She is a great
Jesse
actress.
said they should rename it to the Simp Soap.
Yeah. You're probably not wrong there. There's a weird part of it that I don't know how I feel about the entire thing, and it's a soap that I will not be purchasing.
I will say though, we were talking in the office though. The resale value might be crazy.
Maybe.
And Jorge, you're right. I'll get back to it. Back to the football talk.
If the Raiders traded for one player, who would it be?
Kirk Cousins.
Who?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is not the correct answer. If the Raiders traded for one player, who should it be? And I like to ask these questions on days that I do mailbag simply because, I kind of want y'all's creative juices to be flowing. I want you to kind of think about, some of the players that you want the Raiders to go out and get. And I want you to ask me questions like this when we do a mailbag. And that mailbag will be coming up here in probably 90 minutes from now. We'll kind of sit around, especially if we don't have anybody that gets in the duck race. It is what it is if we do. If we don't. Ramsey from Seth. Jalen Ramsey did tweet out a few days ago the number 5, and he put a ... next to it, which made some people wonder, could he be getting traded in 5 days? Because I think when he tweeted it out, it was 5 days from June 1st, and that's going to be a big day in the NFL world. Hilton from Dan DK King. So I think in terms of Hilton, you're talking about Mike Hilton, and Hilton is a free agent, so we don't have to go out and trade for him. We see Devontae. Stop it. We're not going to go out and trade for Devontae. Stop it. I got a super chat coming in here from Real Cowboy 307, and then another one coming in here from LA Crash Dog. I say this, since we don't have too many questions flowing in right now, I'm down to just get into the very first segment on today's show. Cowboy, what would it take to get Olave? I mean, if you talk to some Saints people, it sounds like they're looking for a day 2 pick, like maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. The video that I ended up releasing yesterday was actually all around Chris Olave, and I gave my 2 cents on why I could see the Raiders doing it and why I would see the Raiders not doing it, and ultimately I say whether or not I would do it. So if you want to go check out that video on Chris Olave, it's the one that literally says Chris Olave trade rumors on it. So please go check it out. But I would say that the New Orleans Saints right now are probably looking for a 2nd to a 3 or a 2nd to a 3rd round pick. I just saw the quote from Jacoby Myers on 73-year-old Pete Carroll. I don't know how he's doing it. Honestly, there's got to be some type of drug out there or something. The Jacoby Myers press conference, if you didn't see it probably about 20 minutes ago, was probably one of the best press conferences I've ever seen because Jacoby's just such a real one, and he tells you exactly, I think, what people want to hear all the time, and it's so authentic, it's so genuine. The way he was talking about Pete today was pretty flippin' amazing. Let's go to LA Crash Dog. What up, Gunny? I'm sitting in traffic, so I can't even Google her. I'll be real. Ask your kids, but I'd be worried. I don't know if you want to know.
Private browser.
Private browser for sure. But, like, she is a good actress. I just think that if you were to ask a lot of men, let's just say my age, who maybe one of their top
I would say,
all passes are, I'm going to say she's up there.
I would say, Gunny, she's like Marilyn Monroe when you were a kid.
How many years ago is that? I'm like, yeah. I don't think Gunny's that old.
Gunny, Chef, just think of her as like your Marilyn Monroe.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are wild, man.
Taino,
y'all are wild.
She's like your Pam Anderson.
Yo, give credit to Pam. Pam looks great right now. I love that she's not wearing a lot of makeup. I saw a picture of her the other day. I was like, you know what, shit, man. Good for Pam Anderson. Speaking of that, and there's no better way to transition in the Raiders OTA news than what we're about to do right now. So coming up here on today's show, we're going to take a deep dive in just everything that happened today at OTA, some of the players that stuck out. We got some really important injury news. I'll say we got some good and we have some bad news in that front. I'll kind of talk about some of the players that one guy had an interception today. We'll kind of go through some of the press conference notes. But if you didn't see on social media already everything that you need to know about Raiders practice today, though we do have a few more super chats that are flowing in here. So we can get to those, and then we will get to the news and rumors on today's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you guys click that like button. Believe it or not, it does really, really help us out here. I'm only 38 and have only heard of her on here. Okay. I mean, I guess that's fitting considering you got, what, is that a grizzly bear or a bison in your photo? But that sounds like, maybe you got to get out more, real cowboy. I'm not sure. No, I'm just kidding. In all honesty, it's probably good if you are married that you don't know who she is. Sean Irish, who do you think is the most likely player we either sign or trade for? Sean, I want to be able to do this one in the mailbag, so if we can, please save it there. In terms of who's the most likely player we sign, I feel like with this regime, we're not going to get a big-name guy, right? Like, we always talk about big-name players, especially it's the players that people talk about. But what they have done this offseason, it's more of like the minor moves that this team's making to, I think, just add to that competition. Trade, I also don't think that there's like a big-name player that this organization would go out and trade for. I think that they're trying to build for their future. I think they're trying to save up some of that future salary cap, future draft picks, but I got at least two names in mind right now, and I'll save them for the mailbag, but I do like this question a lot.
Such a Scheffler answer. He goes, I don't know who you're talking about, but I doubt she's hotter than Salma Hayek.
I mean, to each their own. To each their own. To each their own. I Googled the wrong Sydney, and let's just say, 49 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Rebel, Montana. I'm actually shocked that y'all don't know who Sydney Sweeney is. I really, really am. I really am. Donald Carpenter said, when's the next Madden sim? The next Madden sim is going to be tomorrow, and actually the next 3 times that I go live. So tomorrow, Friday, Monday the 2nd, and then Tuesday the 3rd, I'm going to be going live 4 p.m. Eastern time, and all 3 of those shows will be live Madden simulation. So when we start the program, it'll be kind of like what we always do for Friday. It's going to be a shit show, though that Tuesday will be the last time that I am going to be live before my wedding. And I'm telling you this right now, we're going to go balls to the wall on Tuesday. We're going to go balls to the wall on Friday. We're still going to have a lot of fun on Monday. It's going to be a good game from what I understand. But the next 3 live shows that I do, we will be doing Madden Sims for
wedding.
them.
And it's actually funny. I've been contemplating what do I get y'all for your wedding gift. So now I know.
Soap.
Some Sydney Sweeney soap.
No, please don't. Please do not get me any soap. Caleb, gonna pick up a guitar near Dallas. I was gonna say, I think that one was the other day. 805. Genty is going to amaze us all, but Besh and Thornton are going to dominate this season. All right, how about this? Who do you think ends up having a bigger impact for the Raiders this season? Do you think it's Besh, type 18? If you think it's going to be Dante Thornton Jr., I want you to type 10. And to the 200 people that are tuned in right now to our live show, honestly, I want to see what you guys have to say on this one, because Besh is the early favorite. But when you see how many people are talking about Dante Thornton Jr., and when you see the video that I have going out tomorrow morning, I think that you guys are also, I think the Dante Thornton Jr. train is going to continuously grow and grow and grow because he is that alien type of player. I do think Besh has got the safer floor. Don't think he has the upside that Thornton does, but I also don't think that Thornton has the floor that Jack Besh does. I mean, early on, you can see a lot of 10s down there from Zalesbo. I see from Gary Backus in there. Ed Robbins going to go with Besh. John Fallon's going to go with Besh. Chip Hall, Besh. Seth's going to go with Thornton. I mean, it's a very split bag right now, but I think it's a good problem to have because I know that I can rely on Jacoby. I know that I can rely on Brock Bowers. We just need one of these other young players to step up and take that next step, honestly. And if they do, with a quarterback like Geno Smith, I think this team has got some legit upside this season. I really, really do. Patrick Roche, you, sir, are the first person in the duck race, which means who's going to go up against Patrick Roche. $10 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365 for a chance to win some money. Need to extend Jacoby Myers and Geno Smith. Sure, throw a lot of pets in Madden. I think you mean he throws a lot of picks in Madden.
I think he mixed up the I in Geno, the E in picks, and then the Y in Jacoby. I think all 3 of those just needs to be
something. Yeah, there's a lot of mistyping going on here from Mr. Roche, but you know what, man? it's all good.
Caleb asking the questions we were all wondering.
Holy shit, dude! I just seen that come across, and I think Caleb also came across. 100 Sydney Sweeneys versus me is absolutely hilarious, dude. Holy shit, dude.
I love the fact that half the people in here don't know who Sydney Sweeney is.
Let's just say, if today goes well, who knows? Maybe we're going to start selling our own soap, and that Chuggs is just going to bathe in it. It's not the worst idea we've had. It's probably not the
soap. Sydney's.
And she's a duck race fan.
She's a huge duck race fan.
She's probably, you know what? I say we put Sydney in this duck race. Let's put, how the heck do you spell her name?
Sydney. Put her in the duck race.
We're putting her in the duck race.
If she wins, we all have to tag her on Twitter and tell her she won the duck race. We need her Venmo.
I can do that. I don't know how much a bar of soap costs, but if Sydney Sweeney wins, I'll try to get a bar of soap and we'll give one away here on this show. We could try to use I don't know what it's going to cost. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. There's some interesting people out there.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. We're not going to send her the money. We're going to use the money to buy soap.
Yeah.
Try to get as many of the soaps as we can and then give it away on the show.
We're going to give them away. I think that's what people want. You've heard of T-shirt cannons. Soap cannons is next. It's going to be a big thing, I promise you. It's going to be a big thing, I'm telling you right now. So again, reminder, we are going to do a duck race at the very, very end of today's show. So if you want to get in for a chance to win some money, it's a $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you're trying to join the duck race against Sydney Sweeney, there's only one way that you're going to be able to find out if you won or not. LA Crash Dog, you in. Gary Backus, you in.
Chip Hall, it'd just be easier for you to just Google her.
Yep. Probably.
I could pull up her IMDb right now, but she's actress. Just look
I'm
her up.
worried if Chuggs does that, he's going to pull up his D right now as well. Coming up here on the show, let's get into the Raiders news and rumors from OTA practice today. And
God, Caleb, relax.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. I've never wanted the Duck to come in last place more than this Duck race that we're going to do at the end of today's show.
Oh, no. If that was the case, Raider Rob, Mitch would be all over it.
What?
He said any Sofia Vergara soap.
No. Yeah.
You go, no.
I'll tell you this. That's another one where I'm going to start cursing a lot. Yeah, you're wondering why your kids all of a sudden are cursing all the time and you're washing your mouth out with soap? Don't buy Sofia Vergara soap is all I'm going to say. All right, y'all. Let's get into the very, very first show here on today's live episode. Again, we're going to do a little bit of a shorter live. It's Thursday. So we're going to talk about the news and rumors. I'm going to get into that mailbag. So if you want to get in the mailbag, you got to hashtag Raiders your question, or you got to send it in the super chat.
Get you a girl like Bridget.
Why?
She said, one, watches the Raiders report.
True.
With her hubby. Two, she said, I would find it funny if my hubby got one. I might even get one for him.
So?
Get you a woman like Bridget.
I'll tell you this. It starts with soap. That's all I'm going to say. It's a gateway. It's a gateway. All right, let's go. Let's talk about OTA news today here on the Raiders Report before we get canceled. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about Raiders OTA news from today and just everything that the nation needs to know about practice on May 29th. Before we get into all that information, if you don't know, I am going to be live Friday, Monday, and Tuesday for a Madden Live simulation. So please turn on those notifications. Please make sure you're subscribed. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I want the entire nation to pull up on Tuesday. It's going to be my final live show before the wedding. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some things that we've never done before, and I really, really want y'all to pull up next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get into the news that probably a lot of people are wondering from practice today. First thing, Christian Wilkins, he did not practice. I also know that I said last week that he's dealing with a Liz Frank injury. Sorry, that's on me. I know I'm not a doctor, and I get injuries confused from time to time. He is dealing with a Jones fracture. I just wanted to make that extra clear because the other day when I came home from work, Chuck was watching the Raiders report, and I was like, did I really just say Liz Frank? Because I know it's not that. I know it's a Jones fracture, but did not practice today. Again, still dealing with that foot injury. Hopefully we get a little bit more clarification on it, but I'll be very transparent. It's not mandatory right now. When practice becomes mandatory, that's when I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to it. But to me, I want Wilkins to be healthy by training camp, end of July. If we're still talking about this near July, that's going to raise a major concern for me. Let's go to another player that did not practice today, Adam Butler, defensive tackle. From my knowledge, this is one of the very first practices that he did not participate in. Maybe it was a rest day. There's a lot of other, things that can happen in the offseason. It was undisclosed, so I do not have the reason why Butler was unable to go today. Another player who was undisclosed and did not practice, Jeremy Chin, Raiders safety, linebacker, overall hybrid of a player. So Chin, Adam Butler, and then there was one more player that did not participate, I believe, in practice today, because when you think about Chin, no, those were the only three players. So Wilkins, Butler, Jeremy Chin did not practice today. One of the guys who did actually practice today was Thayer Munford, and I released a video earlier today just talking about some of the concerns that I personally had on Munford. And, last week he didn't practice with an undisclosed injury, or it was undisclosed why he wasn't out there. And I think we could all agree Munford needs as much time as he possibly can. He was out there today, so good for him. But the number one player that I was really excited about, and honestly, why I am making this video titled, The Raiders Got Some Good and Bad News. The bad news is Wilkins is still kind of, we don't have a lot of answers there. The good news is Malcolm Koonce practiced today for the first time since tearing that ACL last August. And, he spoke to the media last week and kind of talked about that he's getting there, he's confident, he feels ready to go, and the fact that the Raiders are putting him out there again in non-mandatory situations, I think just speaks volumes of the progress Koonce is making, because when you have an ACL injury from somebody who tore their ACL and blew out their knee, it's not only the recovery process, it's the mental side. And when you see Malcolm flying all over the football field, again, when I say flying, it's practice, but he's running without hesitation. That is a major win, and I think it also just goes to show how much further along Malcolm is. But again, we're talking 9 months ago for an athlete like this. He should be good to go, and he's going to be good to go. So here's going to be the pinned comment on today's show, because to me, the number one thing that fired me up the most about practice today was simply just Malcolm Koonce being back out there on the football field, because obviously we talk about Max Crosby a lot. I think, Malcolm is kind of the Robin to Max Crosby's Batman. So I got to know, how many sacks is Robin going to have this season? Let me know down below. My answer is going to be coming up right here after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here and go, the number to me has got to be 9. And I expect 9, and hopefully that's not a high number to expect, but I know what he did at 2023. And I know what he's capable of. And I think when you use him correctly and you allow him to be that guy that just pins his ears back and goes out and gets after the quarterback for a full 17-game season, when you also have young players like Pegues, Hemingway, hopefully a healthy Christian Wilkins, hopefully Adam Butler, this is going to give Malcolm more of an opportunity to be the player that we want him to be. And that is a sack artist. And I want him to be able to just go out, get after the quarterback. He's not the best in terms of stopping the run, but my expectations are high for Malcolm Koonce, and I expect him to have 9 sacks this upcoming season. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to get into some more practice news around the silver and black today, talking about the quarterbacks. We'll talk about some of the guys that stuck out at practice today, even some of the people, that shine, made an interception. And then at the very, very end, I'll give you my thoughts on all of the things that were said at Raiders press conference today. If you don't know, tomorrow we're going to be giving away an Ashton Jeanty jersey live here on the Raiders Report. $5 super chat to get in, or you can send in a super thanks to be entered in. If you don't know how to send in a super thanks, don't worry. I got you covered. It's a really simple way to do it. If you're on your cell phone, there's going to be a button underneath the video. You click on this one right here, and you're going to be able to send in a super thanks, just like a super chat. If you're on your desktop or laptop, those 3 buttons, you click on that with your mouse, cursor, Dad, and then you click on super thanks right here. $5 to get in. I know people are really busy, but this is your final chance to get in for an Ashton Jeanty jersey, and we're going to be announcing that winner tomorrow when we are live on the Raiders Report at the very end of that show. It's going to be after the Madden Sim, so please just keep an eye out for that. Let's keep it moving here today. A lot of the Raiders quarterback drills, Geno continuously is the first person taking all the reps. Aiden O'Connell is second, and then it's kind of being split right now between Cam Miller, the 6th-round pick out of North Dakota State, and it's also being split with Carter Bradley. I know early on today, Bradley was working above Miller, but then I also know in other drills, Miller was working above Bradley. But, when you talk about Cam Miller, you got to talk about what Tom Brady sees in him. And Brady does see a lot of good qualities, if you will, in Miller. In the video that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, I kind of go into some of the notes of, what I've been hearing around Cam Miller this offseason. And so far, it's been good. They love his technique. They love his ability to get rid of the football quickly, which that shouldn't surprise you. That's something that Tom Brady loves. Let's keep it moving here on some of the Raiders news from practice today. Again, all the quarterbacks, the drills being broken down. But then there were some other players that, I still wanted to be able to sit up here and give a little bit more information on. I was told that Trey Tucker is really trying to put himself almost in Geno Smith's back pocket, which is exactly what you want a receiver like Tucker to do. I want Tucker, I'm not kidding you, when I think of the way Chuck follows me around at home, if I go upstairs, Chuck's going upstairs. If I go downstairs, Chuck's going downstairs. If I sit down to drop a number 2, Chuck's going to be hanging out with me while I drop that number 2. That's what I want Trey Tucker to do with Geno Smith. In his back pocket, they need to be together, because if Tucker takes that next step, this offense can really fly high. Jacoby Myers, he did practice today, and he also spoke to the media. But what I want to talk about with Jacoby is there are some concerns, not from me, just from people in general, that the Raiders aren't going to give him a contract extension. I'm not saying that's anything that I've heard, but I've just seen what people have been talking about. And the fact that Jacoby and Colton Miller are out there on the field and both of these guys are practicing, when both of these guys have $0 million guaranteed on their deals and both of these guys want brand new contracts, I know for a fact that they saw the A.J. Cole deal go down. And not that these two guys would be upset about it. Jacoby's literally one of the nicest human beings on the team. And I think the only player that might be nicer than Jacoby is actually Colton Miller. It's just, these are two leaders. They're doing the right things. And when you're leaders who want to get paid, but said, you know what, I'm going to put the team first, I think that just goes to show again what this team is doing and why they are moving in the right direction. Ashton Jeanty, another great practice for him. It sounded like the Raiders were really trying to use him in a bunch of different ways catching the football. I say this not to scare people, but do you remember last year we had a lot of, talks about Raiders are using Dylan Laube here, the Raiders are using Dylan Laube here. I think that they were trying to use him to see what he can do. We know how special Jeanty could be. But right now, one of the big question marks is he able to catch the football? And that's something that he's doing a lot in practice. Another player, and we got to try to do a better job keeping this guy a secret. And this is a note that I had. And again, when you guys see the video that goes out tomorrow that I already filmed, you're just going to see that this hype train around Dante Thornton Jr., it's starting to gain a lot of steam. And I mean a lot of steam because of the athlete that he is. But when people realize that he's actually putting it together a receiver, and not that that should surprise you, he does have a lot of good route tree, a lot of good tape, honestly, from his days at Oregon. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a reminder of what you used to be able to do. Dante Thornton Jr., though, I'm asking from the nation. We got to try to keep him a secret here a little bit. Jack Besh, he also was at practice today. No contract issues. I keep on getting asked, he's the last rookie for the Raiders that hasn't signed. Are we having some issues there? No. From what I understand, no issues there. Player that did have an interception today was Jalen Smith. I should mind it that I had a video that was sent to me of Jalen getting a pick. I'll be real. I don't know who tipped the football. I couldn't tell from the video that I received, but basically the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, went up into the air. Jalen Smith was able to catch the football and came down with a pick. But that's another turnover. I'll also say this, based on the video that I got, I couldn't see who threw the interception. So I don't know exactly who it was, but Jalen did come down with an interception, another turnover, and I wanted to be able to mention that because of the video that I got. Shout out to my dude who sent it to me. All right, let's get into now the people that spoke to the media today. And the people that spoke to the media today were Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers, and also A.J. Cole. First up, though, was Chip Kelly. And some of the notes that I just wrote down here while Chip was talking was he said Michael Mayer was really impressing him early on, which is really exciting, I think, for a lot of Raiders fans to hear. He said that Ashton Jeanty is as talented as a running back entering the NFL as you're going to see. And I think for somebody who's been around a lot of football, that's something that you love to hear. Geno Smith's accuracy is off the charts, and he's much faster than what people realize. He did say that the O-line's not really easy to evaluate right now, which is a concern for me. Because, again, if you don't win in the trenches, it's going to be really hard to, get Jeanty the ball, get Bowers the ball, let Geno do his thing. Jacoby, super versatile, can play inside and out. And he said this, and I love that Chip Kelly said this because it's why I did not want Josh McDaniels. It's why I didn't want Luke Getsy. They don't form their offenses around the personnel they have. They form their offenses based on the offense that they have. They're trying to put a square peg into a triangle. For Chip Kelly, he said, you always adapt to your personnel. That is what a good offensive coordinator does. Let's go to what Geno Smith had to say to the media. And Geno might be the most Raider quarterback that the Raiders have ever had, and I'm so happy that he is our guy right now under center. He said that the new weapons are already making him a lot better. He mentioned Brock, Jeanty, Tucker, Mayer, and Jacoby. So when he was asked about the offense, the first 5 players that he mentioned were those first 5 players. And I bring that up because I don't know if I would have put Tucker in that group. I might have put, Jack Besh over him. But the fact that Geno mentioned those guys, I do think that that is noteworthy. He said that Ashton is humble and way wiser beyond his years. Said that Max Crosby is one of the hardest working guys in the room. And he's impressed by Jeanty's pass protection. That gets me very, very excited because that's what we want to hear. We know Jeanty's great. How can we get him to take that next step? Catching the football and pass protection. And Geno's not a bullshitter. And Geno, for him to notice it, I think does mean a lot. Let's go to Jacoby Myers. And probably out of all the press conferences, this one was my favorite. And Jacoby's such a real one. Jacoby is such an honest dude. And when you just listen to him talk, you can tell that he's just not afraid to always be himself, very comfortable in his own skin. He said that it's nice to have a vet around in terms of a quarterback like Geno. He said that Geno gets to the facility before him, which I love to hear. He said that Geno's already picking up the playbook. He said that he really likes, and not like really likes, he's like, I really, really like Dante Thornton Jr. Also goes ahead and says that everything is different this season, just from like the guys bringing the energy. He really gave Pete Carroll his flowers, and if you didn't see the quote that he said about Pete Carroll, you absolutely have to go check it out. Essentially, he just said, like, he doesn't know if Pete Carroll's on something to have all that energy at 73, but he thinks that there's got to be a drug for how amped up Carroll is every single day, and you can see that it's being brought to the field. There's a big contagious thing there. Geno brings a lot of stability. And then for A.J. Cole, I'll keep this one a little bit short, but Cole said, this is the most fun that I've had ever playing football. And when you have a new regime come in, like that's the type of mentality, that's the mindset that you want to hear. Like you want to hear that the Raiders are moving in the right direction. And Cole said that one of the reasons why he decided to sign that extension was because he thought that the Raiders were moving in that right direction. And he said that he doesn't think that anybody has more fun than Cole does. I'll be honest with you, Cole. I have a lot of fun doing what I do. So if you have more fun than I do, then I know for a fact that it was a great move that the Raiders made, giving A.J. Cole a contract extension, who is now the highest paid punter in the National Football League. If y'all made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Again, this is the type of the offseason where anytime I get notes on something, I will always do my best to be able to provide those notes from practice. And even though I am not there, today's day and age with technology, cell phones, they're pretty crazy. You can get a lot of info very quickly. So I appreciate everyone who always hits that sub button. Appreciate everyone who's always tuned in. And a reminder, going to be live Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, Madden Sims. I hope to see you there. Wild, wild question this is.
I love that his significant other's in the profile pic, too.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Hi, is this the soap? What am I looking at here?
Higher than high.
Higher than high sent in a super chat. Oh, it's 3 hippos. But our graphics can't show the movement on it. So this is 3 hippos popping out of the water.
That's also his first super chat.
Also a first-time super chat from Higher Than High.
That could also be a puddle of Sydney Sweeney bathwater.
Could be. Could also be the leftover of that Sydney Sweeney bathwater. Could also be what's left over after 100 Sydney Sweeneys versus Caleb Tarr. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think she actually bathed in it, or it was like a kind of dip in, dip out situation?
I don't know which is worse. You know, like, I don't know what's more wild. Selling soap that you're saying Sydney Sweeney bathed in, or
like, do you think she was like actually like dirty when she got in the water, or like she was pre-clean, got in the water, and then got out?
I'll tell you what, that changes it.
Yeah, that changes the factors of the soap.
It definitely does.
Not just asking for a friend.
Just asking.
Ed Robbins.
What up, Ed? Before I hang on, we got some NFL news that came out from Jordan Schultz, and he says the Steelers have had preliminary conversations with multiple teams about potentially adding another playmaker on offense to complement DK Metcalf. Pittsburgh is believed to be motivated to get a deal done at some point, though there's still plenty of time before the season. So according to Jordan Schultz, the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to add another player next to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say this. If you were to tell me right now a receiver from the Raiders gets traded and goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it's Trey Tucker. And it's nothing to do with Trey. And I think what Trey's already done this offseason, he's doing a lot of things. And the only reason why that I say that is simply because Raiders drafted 3 wide receivers.
Tough question for you.
I'm listening.
Very tough. Steelers approach you.
Okay.
2nd round pick for Jacoby.
Ooh, man. 2nd round pick for Jacoby. I'll say yes if the Raiders do not plan on extending him. If you're telling me that Jacoby's just playing on a 1-year deal and he's playing for the rest of this season, I will take that second-round pick. Though, to me, I just think it's not that it's dumb to not give Jacoby an extension, but I don't see why you make all the moves that you did going out and getting Geno, giving him the extension, and they didn't spend big at wide receiver. Sure, they took Jack Besh. I would say I'd rather you give Jacoby a 2-year extension, tie him for 3 years with Geno. Like, that's a smarter investment. Though a second-round pick, if you don't plan on extending him, is, I think, a smart
Chat,
move.
let me know. Why for yes and for no?
That's my mindset. If you're saying second-round pick and we don't know whether or not the Raiders are going to extend Myers, oh, boy, I'd probably say no, and I only say that because it's so important for Geno to be good this season. Like, if Geno struggles this season because he doesn't have enough wide receiver talent, then what? Next offseason, we're going to have to go out and probably pay a receiver way more than what we were going to have to pay Jacoby. And I get it. Jacoby's not like your prototypical number 1, but Brock Bowers isn't your prototypical tight end. So I think Jacoby is a number 2, even though he's the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
How about those Pacers? How about those Pacers, man? I mean, they're playing really good basketball. You know what I mean? I mean, they really, truly are. They are outplaying the Knicks. They've been the better team. I just really, really wish that it was 2-2 right now and the Knicks would have kept that lead, just because this has been a really fun series to watch. All right, y'all, for the Great Tuna, and if you don't know who the Great Tuna is, shout out again to our guy, Brandon Jasper. He always loved to do top 5s. Let's do top 3s. Top 3 favorite summer foods. We're going to give some shout-outs here on today's show. I see people spamming tuna, which I hope that's not like your favorite summer food and just you're showing love to the Great Tuna. But after this question, we will get into the mailbag here on the Raiders Report today. Zalesbo, yes, R.I.P. to the Great Tuna. Mario, ribs, hamburgers, and chicken. If I had to pick between those, I'd go with I'd actually cheeseburger. Like, I'm never going to order a hamburger. Put some cheese on that burger. Let's be honest. We got ceviche from Los Oakland Raiders 94. You and my fiance are obsessed with ceviche. I don't know. What's chicken jockey? No idea what chicken jockey is. Jeremy Cole, barbecue, grilled fruit, and a cold beer.
Chicken jockeys from that Minecraft movie. That's the thing where everybody was freaking out in the theaters and like throwing their popcorn like, chicken jockey.
No idea.
See, this is why I said you're the least online person in the entire office.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, like, I'm online, but I don't know that stuff. Like when I go on my phone, legitimately,
you're online for work, though.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if I go on my phone, it's Raiders, NFL.
That's what I'm saying. You're the least online person. Because if it's not about work, I feel like you're not online. You're like, I could care less.
Does this count? Like, I try to DM people all the time. You know, like
that does not count.
Doesn't count? All right.
I'm talking about, like, you are just scrolling, seeing what other people are talking about random things.
Yeah, no, honestly, I report a lot of that stuff when it pops up on my Twitter because I don't want to see it. Like, I have no interest in it.
Cheeseburgers, pizza, fruit salad.
Yummy, yummy. Fruit salad.
Yummy. Almost diamond chugs. Evil Mitch, that's crazy.
What?
He's talking about He's talking about Marvel Rivals, the video game we play.
I would say
brats, potato
summer,
salad,
like foods that always make me think of summertime. A great cheeseburger, like a great cheeseburger, corn on the cob, sweet corn on the cob.
Oh.
Now I would say maybe even like elote, and then watermelon with some tahini. Like, to me, that's very summery.
One would be watermelon for me. 2, and this might be a controversial take, but it's one of my favorite summer foods, and I don't care if you don't think it's a summer food, because it is, smoothies. Yeah. Smoothies in the summer just hit. Hot day, you're kind of hungry, but you don't want a full meal.
Yeah.
Just like a nice cold smoothie on a hot, like, summer day.
I'll be real with you. I've been crushing smoothies. Been trying
Shout out to Panda.
Been trying to lose some weight. Yep, shout out to Panda. And I've been eating crap ton of smoothies. A little bit, some blueberries.
I'm gonna
get
go
some
with
bananas.
smoothies, watermelon, and I'm just gonna go with the overarching just barbecue. Like barbecue brisket, barbecue, whatever barbecue, like anything grilled.
Some good barbecue. Yeah, a grill in the summertime is hard to beat. Man, again, I love summer food. I love food in general, which y'all already know.
A lot of potato salad lovers. Are you
Sushi.
Are you a potato salad guy? A lot of people are saying potato salad.
I love potato salad.
Are you mustard or mayo potato salad?
I guess it would depend. Like my grandmother, she makes hers mayo based, and when I think of potato salad, I don't know, like that's home cooking to me. But if I had to pick, I'd probably go mayo based potato salad.
I love the movement of putting bacon in potato salad.
Yep.
Because I feel like growing up, nobody really did that. And now it's very common, like at places with potato salad.
It's like a baked potato.
Oh yeah,
it's
that I'm cool with.
Delicious.
The old potato salad that I was used to getting at barbecue places, I feel like was always mustard based, and I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, I mean to be real, I didn't have mustard based potato salad until I came down here. Well, actually that's not true. There's a few Amish markets where I'm from that would sell it, but for the most part, it was always mayo based.
It was always mustard, and it always had raisins.
Raisins?
I'm kidding.
No, I mean raisins.
That's
is that something?
That's the joke of why white people aren't allowed at the cookout, because they put raisins in their potato salad.
I've never.
This is why Mitch is the least online person at Chat Sports.
Do people put raisins in potato salad? I've never heard of that before. Or is that a joke?
You've never heard that.
I've never heard people put raisins in potato salad.
You never even heard the joke about putting raisins in potato salad.
No. I have not. Potato salad without raisins. Though I would try it with raisins. I'm not a picky eater. I would try it. If somebody put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it. Though if you told me, should I put raisins in my potato salad and bring it to a cookout, my answer is going to be no to that. But like I do love raisins in chicken salad.
Yeah.
Like you get some raisins in a good chicken salad. Honestly, that's something that I love in the summertime. A crisp salad, even. Like, you put a little chicken on a salad, can F it up, man.
Dude, I actually, another thing that I didn't really like until I got older was chicken salad. I used to be like, no. Dude, now, like, a good chicken salad sandwich in the summer, it F's. Also, I see Real Cowboy says county fair style corn dogs. We were talking about, Broken Bow and, possibly, like, going on trips up there and stuff. You talked about Broken Bow. If you ever go with Alex, they have, and I'm not even shitting you, the 10th best ranked corn dog spot in the United States.
10th?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the 10th best corn dog spot in the United States. Best corn dog I've ever had.
I don't love corn dogs.
Oh, yeah. You don't like hot dogs.
But Alex will try.
They're so
I would
good.
try, like, the outside.
But they also have jalapeno cheddar ones. Like, it's a jalapeno cheddar brat one.
Okay. That I would try. That doesn't bother me. I don't know what it is about the texture and taste of hot dogs.
Have you had a
really
corn dog?
gross. Huh?
Have you ever tried a corn dog?
Yes, but I would say corn dogs that I tried back home are a lot different. Like, corn dogs down here, I think, look good. Corn dogs back home look like they've been just soaking in some bath water from Sydney Sweeney. Like, you don't want to put your mouth around them.
Deviled eggs. I'm not a big deviled eggs guy, but my niece loves them.
Love deviled eggs. Absolutely love them.
My brother does deviled eggs like 4 different ways. He'll do it like different, like a buffalo chicken flavored one, a teriyaki one. Like,
I absolutely love them. I really do.
No.
Cameron Sproul, Jacoby and a third for T.J. Watt. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers laugh in your face.
I think we answer that in the mailbag coming up. Reminder, hashtag Raiders if you want to get in the mailbag.
Actually, we actually have a lot of good questions. Lamont, I think we saved this one for the mailbag.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's save that one.
Patrick.
Good to hear from Chip that Geno is looking fast and accurate. I completely agree. And, I am amazed on how much more confident I am in Geno Smith right now than what I was confident in Geno Smith when the Raiders first made that trade. And I've been a sicko, and I am a weirdo where I'll sit back and I will watch so much tape on a guy. I'll watch highlights. I'll watch games when he was terrible. Like, I started watching some games back when he was a New York Jet and just his body language when he struggled, and I want to be able to see some of those tendencies when, if we're watching a real NFL game. Like, I've often thought of NFL games, like, imagine if NFL games were used like pitchers were used in a baseball game, where sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And is there certain things that I can pick up on Geno when he's struggling? Like, does he start to do this? And, like, right now, like, that's what I'm looking to do. But when I go back and I watch a lot of these guys, Geno's a lot better. And I almost think that one of the reasons why Geno doesn't get the attention that he deserved is because he was bad in New York. New York media is tough. And he was good in Seattle. Think about, like, a lot of these people at, I think when we do this show, we always get, people don't watch Pac-12 football or whatever the hell it's called now. I don't even know. West Coast college football. And it's because it doesn't always get shown on TV or it's not covered with a lot of, people on the East Coast on national media. I think that's why people don't know how good Geno Smith actually is. Because I can't get it. When you watch the Geno tape, you're like, this guy is a really good freaking quarterback. What up, Night Devil? Poke. It's the right answer. And if anybody wants some great poke and you live in the Tucson area, Desert Shark is where you need to go.
Oh, he also just...
Desert Shark Tucson.
He also just commented, I can do that for you, brother, talking about somebody saying something about mango in it. And he said, just wait, I got my new summer releases. I've been in the lab.
Yeah, we got to get out there. We got to try to get out there, Fabian.
Real cowboy.
I love poke.
Best summer food, hot dog or nachos at an MLB game. Fun fact, I don't know if you heard, one of our coworkers, Joey Peterson, went to a baseball game yesterday.
Okay.
It was Dollar Dog Night. Any guess on how many hot dogs he took down yesterday?
Dollar Dog Night? 5?
6.
Okay.
He said he took down 6 dogs.
I mean, that's a lot of dogs. It's a lot of dogs. I mean, that's a great price, though. I mean, I went to the game on Tuesday, and I'm trying not to drink beer unless I'm at work. So I bought a $7 Topo Chico instead of getting a $10 mango cart. Oh, I hated it. I hated every set. Like, my favorite thing to get at a baseball game is a crisp beer. You get a good beer. I also love Cracker Jacks, some peanuts or something like that. That would be good, though. Now they have Whataburger at the Rangers place.
I know.
It's great.
Did y'all get it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly,
is it the same price?
No.
It's more expensive?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it was $15 for a double, and you only get the burger.
Oh.
They don't, yeah.
I'm not going then. Why would I?
Or you're going to pay $12 for a hamburger.
I'd rather just get some snacks there and then eat Whataburger on my way home.
I guess. Though, I'll be real.
Did it
Alex,
just taste better in the ballpark?
I thought it was a great burger, but Alex was hungry, so
What did she get?
She got a burger, and she added jalapenos and bacon, which I don't know if y'all are in the same boat with me. One of my biggest pet peeves that Alex does is, like, and again, I love her, and your significant other probably does the same thing. You see, like, a burger, and again, we're at a ball game. $10 burger from Whataburger. Underneath it says $3 for bacon, $2 for jalapenos. In my mind, I'm not paying $5 for that. Alex is, like, loaded up. Now, I pay, but like, I don't do that. Like, it's like whatever it says on there, it's like, that's what I want. Give me that. Like, I'm not going to add all the extra stuff. Drives me nuts. To each their own, though. All right, y'all. We're going to get into a mailbag, and before we do, we're going to play a game. And I don't know what this game is.
Oh, so
you got to explain it.
So basically, one of our social guys has this game called Slip It In, and the way the actual game works, you're just showing the.
I know. I'm just showing the. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Okay. It's called Slip It In, and the way the actual game works is you're supposed to, like, play it throughout the day. So, like, Joey told me the way the actual game works is, like, each person will get, like, 2 cards.
Okay.
And you have to basically say whatever the card says during the day without anybody recognizing, like, it's part of the game. And if somebody catches you within the, like, 60 seconds of you saying it, then you don't get the point.
Okay.
But if nobody realizes, you get the point. We're kind of doing it to where we're giving out the cards and Mitch has to say it at some point during this next VOD, during this next mailbag. So he has to say it at some point while answering a question. So if you want to look at it to see what you have to say during this VOD.
Greek yogurt makes me fart.
So you have to fit that somewhere in during this VOD.
All right. If I am unable in this video to say Greek yogurt makes me fart, what's my punishment? I say, if I am unable to slip this in this mailbag, I'm going to bring Greek yogurt tomorrow, and we're going to do some Greek yogurt boots. No, I don't know. I'm not going to drink or do anything crazy today, but there has to be a punishment. Fabian Moreno, you've been the MVP of today's show. You get to pick the punishment. How about that? Can't be anything like super outrageous if I have to buy something. But I don't know, man. It kind of reminds me of the meow thing.
Drew said, give me that jersey.
Give me that jersey. Yee, yee, yee. Which, again, we are giving away an Ashton Genty jersey tomorrow. Every $5 super chat that we get, you're entered in for an extra chance to win. All right, y'all, let's get into this mailbag. It's hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line, and I want questions around OTAs, trades, free agencies, whatever it is. And if you want to see your question on the program, if you did not super chat, you got to go hashtag Raiders. I think Raiders Shield's got a good one in there. Hashtag Raiders, I got a new post-retirement job. You know what? Hey, if that's what you want us to talk about, then we'll talk about it. Greek yogurt, WTF, Chip Hall. Yeah, I don't know. Gutierrez says the one-chip challenge. I actually already have to do the one-chip challenge this summer, but Alex told me I was not allowed to do it before the wedding, just in case. So it's going to have to happen. I have the chip on the desk. Wild One, I forget what show it was. He hit the gong. I gave him a deal, and he's like, oh, you got to do the chip. So I actually have the chip with me. It's at my desk. But Alex very strictly was like, don't do it before the wedding. God forbid if anything were to happen to your system. And, you know, just so after the wedding, we'll do the chip challenge. Maybe in the playoffs. Not in the playoffs, in August in the preseason. Madden playoffs. It will happen. You ready? Y'all ready? Coming up right now, mailbag time. After that, we will do a duck race. Friendly reminder that it is a $10 Venmo right now for a chance to win $40 here on today's episode. You ready? Let's rock on the show. It's mailbag time here on the Raiders Report. Appreciate everyone who always tunes in, and all the questions that you see on today's show are from May 29th, and they're from all of our loyal subscribers. If you want to get a future comment, question, statement on a mailbag, you got to be subbed, you got to have those noties on, and you got to join us when we go live. Let's go to the first question coming in here from Lamont. Appreciate you, dude. Would you rather lose Tucker or Mayer for picks? So if you're telling me I got to pick between Trey Tucker or Michael Mayer, I'd rather the Raiders keep Mayer just to have that other tight end. That way we could use Brock Bowers as an outside receiver, and then you'd have Mayer on the field as a tight end. I like Trey Tucker, and I think he's going to be a good gadget player for this team, but I also think that he's easier to replace with Jack Besh, Tommy Millott, and Dante Thornton Jr. I think that is an easier replacement than trying to replace Michael Mayer with our other tight ends. Let's go to Cameron Sproul. Jacoby in a third for T.J. Watt. So there was a rumor and a report from Jordan Schultz today, May 29th, that just came out. That said that the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to add another playmaker next to DK Metcalf. I'll be honest with you, 0% chance Pittsburgh would even entertain this type of deal. I think if you want to go get T.J. Watt, probably a first-round pick's got to be involved. But here's the other thing. You have to pay Watt. So if you didn't want to pay Jacoby Myers his extension, Watt, I think, is looking for $40 million a year. I think he's a great player. He's got to be able to stay healthy. But this is a no from Pittsburgh. Let's go to Patrick Roche. What's up, my man? Need to extend Jacoby Myers. I could not agree more. Quite frankly, I can't believe that Colt Miller and Jacoby Myers aren't extended yet. The day that I've been setting in my head, June 10th, that is the start of mandatory minicamp for the Raiders. That would be the day that I'm hoping a deal does ultimately get done. And for Geno Smith, you can see the accuracy is there. You can also just tell that there's a lot of these older players, Jacoby Myers being one of them, really excited to actually have a good quarterback with this team. Let's go to Steven Stottgarten from Deutschland. How many rushing yards do you believe is Geno made? I think, how many rushing yards is Geno going to have this season? That's a tough question to ask. I would say, let me just look up his stats here real quick. The numbers that I always look at for quarterbacks, to be honest, that I don't really consider mobile. The more important stat that I look at is first downs. So last season, Geno Smith had 17 first down rushes. I would hope that Geno's able to pick up at least one first down every single game with his legs. He's been somewhere around 200 is a consistent number. Let's go with 250 rushing yards, and I want somewhere around 17 to 20 first downs picked up with those legs. Sierra, appreciate you, man. I saw Ramsey tweet out 5. Do you think the Raiders have any chance of getting him? So this is probably a few days ago at this point. The Miami Dolphins, the Jalen Ramsey trade rumors, let's be honest, they've been circulating for a very long time. And I'm not really shocked that I'm getting this question just because Jalen Ramsey is a big-name player. But I'll be real. I don't think there's any chance in hell that the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey. I know there was some interest before the draft, but with them going out and getting Darian Porter, and you also have to pay Ramsey $20 million plus. I know that his contract is a little bit more flexible on the back end of those final 3 seasons, but we need a nickel corner. We need a free safety. I think the Raiders are a lot more confident also in their ability to build some corners. So for that reason, I'm going to go no. I don't think there's any chance that the Raiders are going to trade for Jalen Ramsey. But let's go with this question because I do think it's a good question to ask. This is a mailbag after all. And I want your best guess. Where does Jalen Ramsey play football in 2025? I'm going to give my prediction after this YouTube ad break. Right now, some of the rumors that are circulating, the Atlanta Falcons are a team to keep in mind. But I wouldn't be shocked if he went back to the Los Angeles Rams. It sounds like there is a lot of interest both from Ramsey and Sean McVay's side. So right now, I'm going to go with the Rams are going to be the team that get Jalen Ramsey. Let's go to 805 Raider Paul. Genty is going to amaze us, but Besh and Thornton are going to dominate this season. I don't know if dominate is exactly the right word, and I only say that because, yes, there's going to be some high expectations in there, but like Besh and Thornton, if they can both be around 400 to 500 receiving yards, that's great. Genty does definitely need to amaze us. There's no doubt about it. Sean Irish, who do you think is the most likely player we either sign or trade for? Sign, at this point, I'll go with a cornerback in Mike Hilton. I'll also throw out a name like Jadeveon Clowney if the injuries around Christian Wilkins are very, very legit. Then maybe Clowney because he's got those ties. Who also was the old defensive tackle that played with the Raiders? I did a video on him the other day. Man, I can't think of his name. He was with Seattle. He was with the Raiders. He's a veteran. His name's right on the tip of my tongue. They replaced him with John Jenkins a few years ago. He played for the Seahawks. I think he was with the Quentin Jefferson. Christ. Quentin Jefferson could be another name that I would throw out there. Lockett's already been signed. In terms of trades, though, I really don't think that a trade is going to end up happening. Let's go to the next question, though, coming in here. A.J. Cole extension is done. Who is next and why? I would say Jacoby Myers and Colton Miller have to be the next 2 candidates. And I did a video earlier in the offseason where, I talked about a lot of extension candidates. And the top 4 players that I said that are going to get extended are going to be Max Crosby, Colton Miller, Jacoby Myers, and I threw A.J. Cole on that list. So because I added those players into that list, I would just say that it's got to be those 2 guys. It's got to be those 2 guys. If you guys do not know, well, first off, Raiders Report, we're always pumping out mailbags, especially during the offseason. So there's 2 messages I got to be able to get across here. If you're looking for mailbags all offseason long, if you're looking for an interactive Raiders YouTube channel, then I want you to hit that subscribe button. The other thing that I need y'all to know, Greek yogurt does make me fart. Let's go to the next question coming up here on today's mailbag. Real Cowboy 307. What would it take to get Olave? Right now, based on the reports, I would say the New Orleans Saints are looking for a second, third round pick. But I did do a video a little bit earlier on this offseason, or earlier on this week, excuse me, about why I don't think that the Raiders would be interested in going out and getting Olave. And I think a lot of it has to do with some of the injuries, right, around some of the concussions that he's had. I want you to go check it out. Check out that video. But personally, I don't think that Olave is at all an option for the Raiders. Let's go to Night Devil, a.k.a. Fabian Moreno, the MVP this month. Thornton and Genty, 18 touchdowns combined. Who is the dark horse of the offense? I think, honestly, the dark horse of the offense right now, you mentioned him here, and it's Dante Thornton Jr. I mean, there is just so much excitement. There is so much hype around him right now that it kind of reminds me, and I don't want to say Max Crosby, but if y'all remember the hype around Max when he was a rookie, I mean, it was like, this guy's different. And I think already early on, you're seeing like, all right, this Dante Thornton guy, he might be a little bit different. If they can go for 18 touchdowns combined, I would say that 12 of those are 13, 14 of those are probably Genty, where I know Thornton is big, 6'5". I just don't know if he's going to be used, how often he's going to be used. Like, I just don't know what to expect. Like, I would say right now he's probably the sixth option on the offense, but he's always going to be a great decoy. I think another really good, sneaky, dark horse option on offense is Tommy Millott because of the ways that the Raiders can use him on the offensive side of the football. If anybody out there is looking for some Raiders gear, you can go to chatsports.com/Raider sale. We got a bunch of different stuff. You're looking for a hoodie, a t-shirt, whether you need a hat. I mean, I know I have my Raiders Report hat on right now, but we got all sorts of stuff. If you're also like me and Greek yogurt makes you fart, maybe you need some new shorts. I probably need some new shorts as well. This link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments and down in the description of today's show, chatsports.com/Raider sale. Also, Father's Day right around the corner. Cameron Sprout, top 15 defenses, top 10 offense. Do we go to the Super Bowl? Wait, so you're saying top 15 defense, top 10 offense? I actually do have more confidence in our offense than I do defense, and it's because of what I am concerned about on the back end for that Raiders secondary. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm also concerned about Christian Wilkins right now, but do I think that we go to the Super Bowl with top 10 offense, top 15 defense? I'm going to say no. I'd say this is a playoff caliber team, but you also, I think the Raiders are going to play a brand of football that if they get hot at the right moment, look out, because they're going to be a tough team. When you play that just physical brand of football, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles are a great example of it. I know the Lions lost early last season in the playoffs, but tackling, physicality in January and February, but then also it's the depth that I'm hoping the Raiders have. When you play that brand of football and you're very deep, it's hard to be able to match that every single week. And the Raiders' mentality is they want to be the most physical team for 4 quarters every single week. Let's go to my man Raider Prime. What up? Is there a chance we become a high-powered offense? If so, sign me the F up. I think that there is absolutely a chance that we have a high-powered offense. You got a great mastermind in Chip Kelly. You got a guy like Tom Brady. You got a guy like Geno Smith, who has had a lot of success with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's had a lot of success with quarterbacks as well. On top of that, the offense that we have, I think, is perfect blend with Chip Kelly. I think it's a perfect blend of the talent that we have all around. I want you to go check out the video that I did, Prime, earlier in the week about Geno Smith, and it was a warning out there to anybody that doubts him. Go check out that video. When you see the combination, I'll call it, of talent that we have with the coaches that we have with Geno Smith, we do have a chance to be a high-powered offense. Let's go to my man Jay Smoove, 33. Hondo said we should try and trade for Trey Hendrickson. What are your thoughts? I did see the article. I'm not going to lie. I didn't pay any attention to it just because Hondo did call Hendrickson a defensive tackle, so I don't know if Hondo doesn't know who Hendrickson is or if he just thought that Hendrickson was a defensive tackle and to be like a replacement for Wilkins. I'll be real with you guys. Like, I don't really actually watch a lot of the stuff that Hondo says. I know he's very popular amongst the nation. I know he's a very liked person, but for me, it's just, I don't think it's the content that I personally want. And I'll also say this, no, in terms of trading for Hendrickson. I also did a video probably like 2 weeks ago at this point, maybe 3 weeks ago. It was right after the NFL draft about Hendrickson and about whether or not I thought the Raiders would go out and get him. I do not think that it makes sense for the Silver and Black to get him. He's also looking for $30 million. Like, he's also known as being one of the more selfish players in the National Football League, which is something that I do not want to bring to this organization. So I'm going to ask y'all, should the Raiders go out and trade for Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson? Type T for trade, type P for pass. I know he's a good player. I know that he would help out our team. But in all honesty, my answer is going to be P for pass. I don't think that the Raiders should go out and do it. Let's go to Patrick Roche. Where do you think our running back room ranks in the NFL now? I'd like to say top 10. And that might be a hard thing to say just because of how bad we were last season. But my question to you, Patrick, and my question to everybody that's watching this live show right now, is Ashton Jeanty a top 10 running back in the NFL? I would say without a doubt he's a top 10 running back in the NFL. My next question would be, do you think that he's a top 5 running back in the NFL? If your answer to that is yes, then we have a top 10 back room. I know that there's a lot of unknown commodities in there. But Raheem Mostert also had 21 touchdowns in 2023. Yeah, Zamir, Laube, there's not a lot there that probably gets you excited. But when you got a back like Jeanty, I would say that we have a top 10 running back room because of Ashton Jeanty and Ashton Jeanty alone. Patrick Roche, appreciate the question. Let's go to my man Anthony Green. On Madden Sims, we play the Texans. So will y'all call both drives together? Haven't really thought about it. I think it'd be interesting to see Chuggs and I kind of go head-to-head. But at the end of the day, Greek yogurt makes me fart, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. If you do want to tune in and join us for our next live Madden streams, if you're watching this live on Thursday, I will be live on Friday. If you're watching this over the weekend when the mailbag's going to go out, the next time you're going to see me, Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday will be my final live show before the wedding. So please pull up. Please tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. My dad might even be here. He gets into town on Monday. And Tuesday will be my final show. I am out of work from Tuesday until that following Tuesday. If any other breaking news happens, Jeremy Chuggs has got you covered. Let's go to Raider Rob, 1969. If Wilkins can't go, do we bring back Hurst? Any other defensive tackles? Put me in for a Jeanty jersey. A present for my OG's birthday if I win. Hendrickson if no DT. All right, so do we bring back Mo Hurst? I personally don't think bringing back Mo Hurst for Wilkins makes any sense just because they're so different in terms of the defensive tackle position. Mo is a lot smaller. The guy that I think that if the Raiders did bring back anybody, it would be a Quentin Jefferson. It would be a Jadeveon Clowney because of their ties to Pete Carroll. And then Hendrickson, no. I don't see why the Raiders would try to bring in Trey Hendrickson. Again, like you're going to have to trade. You probably have to trade a second-round pick at minimum, and then you have to pay him $30 million. I just think there's a lot of other better ways that we could build our roster, build our team, than trading for Trey Hendrickson. Let's go to Breakfast. No Patrick Graham presser yet, I believe is what this PG is. Hopefully soon. Would be interesting to hear his thoughts on the secondary. I completely agree with this statement where I respect Patrick Graham so much as a coach and so much as a defensive mind that I also would love to know what he has to say about this defensive group. But I would imagine PG's pretty fired up about him, and I say that because there was a practice last week where the offense dominated the defense, and then the next practice, the defense ended up, dominating the offense. When you have early on guys picking things up, I think that that's super motivating. But also, I think PG kind of knows that he's got, a joker in his pocket in Rob Leonard, and he's got a ace up his sleeve in Pete Carroll, and he's working with some guys that just really, really know their positions well. And I think for Patrick, he's just kind of sitting back going, I can put all these guys where I need to put them. But I also would love to know what Patrick Graham thinks of our secondary, no doubt about it. If I did not get to your question, I apologize. You can always hit me up on IG and Twitter. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. And I'll also say this. If you care about my life, even if it's this much, right? You can, I think this weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, this entire week, I'm going to be posting stuff on Instagram, everything leading up to the wedding. I'm super excited. If anybody's got any wedding advice, I'd greatly appreciate it. But I would say this week especially is a week to follow me on social media at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, y'all, before we get out of today's live show, who we got? Knicks, Pacers. Are the Pacers going to end it tonight, or are the Knicks going to stay alive and force a game 6?
Big Island. Aloha.
Aloha, Big Island.
Big Island. I want to know, have you seen the new Lilo and Stitch movie? My wife refuses to watch it with me because she doesn't love kid movies. Same reason she doesn't like superhero movies. She's like, I don't like kid movies.
I'll say this. Certain kid movies I like. Other kid movies I just don't like. Like, Alex loved the movie Up. Or not Up. What's the one where they're like, it's like emotions inside of that person. Like, inside of, like, the little girl.
Oh,
Where the most recent one is like anxiety.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I didn't love that movie, but again, like that's just not my cup of tea. Watching the Super Mario's Brother movie was one of the most nostalgic movies I've ever seen. Love that one. I just think it depends, right? Like what you grow up with.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Yep. Inside Out. Also, some NFL news here. Ricky Pearsall, hamstring injury.
Wild name for a movie.
Won't return to practice until training camp. Another injury for the young second-year receiver, man, out of Florida.
If you had no idea the context and I just told you, hey, I just saw a movie called Inside Out.
I think it would have to do with Sydney Sweeney soap. That's what I think we'd be talking about. Anthony Green, 93, Nabman. Both of y'all are in. $10 Venmo right now for a chance to go home with $55.
For some reason, I feel like Ed Robbins is just saying this because he's a Celtics fan.
I'm going to be honest, completely agree. I don't think I could agree with you anymore. Sean Irish, sir, you are also in. It's right now a 10 to win, $60 here on today's episode. Now, again, I know the offseason's been slow. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm hoping that, the Raiders do some stuff. And when I say do some stuff, I have been dying for a Jacoby and Colton extension. I've been dying for any news whatsoever. That way it gives me an opportunity to talk about it. But here's my pledge to the nation. We're always going to be here. We're going to be providing a lot of content this offseason. And this show is better when y'all are involved in it, right? And I'm hoping that you guys get to see how much fun that we are going to have this entire offseason. Because once we add our newbie, which we're still in the process of interviewing some people, we're going to take this show to a whole nother level, and I can't wait for it to go down. All right, y'all, let's do this duck race. I'm going to send all of the names here to Jeremy Chuggs, and then if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to hop on out of here. Again, I appreciate everyone who's always tuning into our live shows. We are going live a lot this off season. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll be doing 2 segments. Mondays and Fridays, we're going to do the Madden Lives, and I just don't want to do all the segments that I usually do on live just because I know a bunch of my real ones always watch the live shows, and I like for surprises during the offseason. Let's just put it like that. Richard Kelly, I got you in, my dog. I also see Ron Raspberry also getting in. So right now, winner's going to go home with $70 here on the Raiders Report. Let me send this to you, good sir. It has been sent. It has been sent.
It is done.
It is done. Husker, are you writing your own vows? Yes. I am going to write my own vows. I've been writing my own vows for a few months now, where just the way that I operate, I just write down things that I think sound nice in my head. And then this weekend, I will actually, get into writing my vows. But yes, I could. I mean, I wrote my engagement speech. I had that whole thing memorized, though Alex told me she blacked out and didn't remember any of it. So I actually re-recorded it, and I gave it to her. That way she'll always have it, and that way our kiddos will have it. Gabriel Ruiz, you in? Gabriel, I got you. Gabriel's going to be in twice. Can you add Gabriel? Let me just send those.
Yeah.
So now winner's going to go home with 80 doll hairs here in a little bit. And you guys are going to have an opportunity to beat Sydney Sweeney. Yep, Gabriel, I got you. What?
Will you hand me that TV's remote? I think I think the Slack is on that TV for some reason.
All of the remotes.
I think it's this.
Well, all I see is, I mean, if you want, I can send it to you.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I got you. Is my cake topper Raiders related? Fun story. We're actually not going to have cake. No cake.
No cake?
No cake. Got other surprises. Yep. Jeremy's like, I'm not coming now.
No cake?
No cake. It actually just says eat shit, Mitch, on the cake. Now, I'll be not that I don't like cake. I do like wedding cakes. I will say this. There's another dessert that I like in the summertime more. That's my hint. I don't know. You're going to have to wait and see. You're going to have to wait and see. Rustin Long is in. I will say one of the things that we will do on Tuesday, again, like Tuesday might be a shit show. I don't know if I'm going to get like wild and crazy and drink on Tuesday. Tomorrow, I definitely am going to have some beers. It's going to be Friday, but, I'm just, like I said, I've been trying to stay a little healthier. I know I'm going to have some drinks on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday as well this week. So Tuesday, though, the deals that we're going to do are all going to be wedding related. So if you guys want to know some, we'll call it insider information on the wedding, that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a show that, I want to be able to show the kids someday. My dad does really, really, really want to pull up on Tuesday and get wild with the nation. So we'll see. He might be more excited than I am for that Tuesday show. Yoda Jenkins, popsicles will melt. Not going to do popsicles. I'm actually not the biggest popsicle guy. A chocolate fountain from Chip Hall would be wild. I agree. Any news on training camp location? I believe it's just going to be in Henderson. I know there was some rumors about it being in California again, but I'd have to go back and look at my one notebook that I have. I don't actually have it with me, but I believe it's going to be in Henderson. Raider Shield family, Navman, I'll be there on Tuesday. Love you, Pops. I hope that my dad, I think he told me he's going to come to Dallas on Monday night. So when he gets into town, and then if he's got nothing going on Tuesday, like I'll be here, I'll be working all day. Honestly, Monday and Tuesday will be two really long days for me. But if he gets the opportunity to pull up on a live show, y'all, I'm telling you, he's gonna love it. He's gonna love it. King Shav, it's all good, my man. We are getting ready though to get into our duck race. So this again is gonna be. Did you get Rustin Long? Yep, he did. So this is gonna be for $85 here on today's show. The winner of this race going home with $85. 3, 2, 1, run it. Here we go. There's a lot of paddling going on. Some say this is actually Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. Oh, what do you got for me, Rebs? Hashtag Raiders, the special guest. A few weeks ago, I hinted at the Raiders potentially getting a special guest. I don't have any more information on it. They've been very busy with practice. I would imagine after mandatory minicamp, because I also said that with the wedding coming up, He was actually available next week. I'm not available with the wedding, but there will be another Raiders player that we drafted on this show. I just don't know when exactly. I've been talking to the agent pretty frequently. I have no idea. Is this Backus? Gary Backus! Not too often do you see somebody hang on to a lead. Yeah, Gary, take it easy with that soap, Gary. Take it easy with the soap, Gary. Gary Backus. Back. Though 5 days ago, Gary did win. 5 days ago, Gary did win. Can we just say that she came in last? All right. If we can just say she came in last, that'll be fine. Oh, God. Gary, can you please confirm that you just received $85 here on the show? Who? Oh, Gunny. What day am I getting married? I'm getting married on Friday. Not tomorrow, but June 6th. It's crazy, man. It's one of those things where, I actually don't think I've ever counted down something in my life more than what I've counted down for the wedding. Yeah, I think Zahn just got here. What up, Zahn? Zahn, would you buy this soap? Y for yes, N for no. Would you buy this soap with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater? They added Bliss, just so you know it's good. It's wild. This has been the talking point at Chat Sports today. He said Zahn's been here. Nope, not now. Not now, Chief. I'm in the flipping zone. I buy it all. That's what he said. Rick Kelly, you're a wild one. Early congrats, Zahn. Appreciate that, dude. Really, really do. All right, guys, I'm going to hop on out of here. Loved hanging out with all y'all today. Fabian Moreno, you've been an absolute legend this entire month. Tomorrow is our final live show of the month of May. So for everyone that's been competing in the May Bang competition, I'll be honest with you, it's basically a one-man race this month. And his name is Fabian Moreno. But tomorrow, we're going to have some fun. Bring those drinking pants. Be ready for a wild and crazy day. Raiders, Bears tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm out.